Good morning. Thank you for having me. This is a pleasure and honor. I want you to start this talk with closing your eyes, and I'm going to give you a picture, and I want you to go through the journey with me. It is 6 a.m., and I land from a business trip to Dubai. I made sure that my flight is at 6 a.m. and I don't have luggage so that I'm home at exactly 7. Why, you may say? Because I need to be a mother. At 7:30, I'm taking my kid to school. At 9:30, I'm taking a bunch of upper management of Zayed University to sign an agreement deal with an institution that I've initiated. At 2:30, I'm running back to school to pick up my son. And at 4:30, we're fighting over some silly homework. Now you can open your eyes. What is it that you see? Do you see a juggler? Maybe. Now I'm going to ask you another question. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of the word woman? Women, the word woman is usually connotated with a loving, caring mother, sister, wife. And then we've got the other women, the businesswomen. Very serious. For sure they're not the other ones. For sure they're not soft. And then we've got the hybrids, these two together. Now, myself growing up in the Middle East, I didn't have so many examples of these two merging in one. I had either this or that. So when I was about to get married, I was very afraid of marriage itself because I had not done all the things I wanted to finish in my career. So I felt like it's a door closed and door open. It cannot be altogether open. A small conversation with my mother gave me an advice. She said, listen, I don't think this man will be closing doors. I think he will be opening doors for you. I went ahead and we got married. I hope you don't regret, honey. And 6 months after we got married, we collected the whole family together for a big announcement. Now, naturally, you would think that what the big announcement is. It was not. I told them, I've got this big news. I got accepted to a PhD program in another country, and I need to travel quite often, and this has to happen on top of my existing job. Now, obviously, everybody was surprised. I could hear my mother-in-law asking my mother, what did she say? My father-in-law asking my father, what did she mean? And yes, because I had a supportive family at the end. First, I had to defend my defense in front of them, my PhD defense, and then go to a supervisory team. So after that, I went along and started my PhD. And as I had promised to my husband, that after I get the acceptance, I can start producing babies. 1 month afterwards, I was pregnant. And little did I know how difficult that would be. I had a growing belly that only I didn't see. Everybody else saw. Whenever I had to go and convince different zillion institutions to endorse my PhD and use it as a routine practice in their institutions, I had to talk with a lot of middle-aged Middle Eastern men that I could see in their eyes. They were looking at me and saying, why are you not going home and resting in your bed? Why are you here running around? But when you have a goal, you just don't see the obstacles. So all I could see was I was sealing a deal. That's it. The rest were just details. Later on, God blessed me with a wonderful son. The first minute I looked at him when he was born, I decided that I have to give him the best a mother can give, to my knowledge. And one of those was to actually give him the natural milk. Now, obviously, because I had to be quite away from him, either to work or travel, I had to invest on this machine that helped me express my milk. And that machine, the salesperson had told me that it's silent. Never believe a salesperson. And what happened is, I used to do all my phone calls while expressing the milk. And one day there was this one man told me, Mirey, please, I have to interrupt. But every time you talk, there is this sound. I had to, pretend that nothing was wrong. I walked, made some shoe sounds, closed the door, came back, turned off the machine, and said, now how is it? He said, what did you do? What happened? He said, well, there's construction. So I closed the door, no more construction. He said, yeah, constantly you have construction next to your building. Yes, yes, this is the country. Throughout the whole time, obviously, I had a lot of obstacles, but all of them, I took them with a laugh. And isn't it easier to laugh at things than to cry? Moral of the story of this whole conversation and this whole talk is, you have to design the recipe of your happiness, whatever it is. While designing and implementing, if you fall and tumble, it's okay, don't feel bad. No one has ever achieved anything or succeeded without falling and tumbling. But as long as it is your own recipe of happiness, then it will be that unique pathway that makes you fulfilled. But out of my life journey, what I've learned is that you have to do this through two things. First, involving your family. Make sure that everyone in your family knows what is it that makes you happy. And for sure, they will support you, because they're there to love you and support you, but they might not know what it is that makes you happy. One. So number two, your grit, your passion, and your resilience towards your goal. Have a goal that excites you and walk through it. Here are some photos of my husband, who was helping me when I was running to classes, giving my baby the milk. And this is my family who supported me eventually that I did graduate that PhD. And without them, for sure, I could have not done any of that. Thank you.